Rashida thought she had seen it all: years of rebuilding, reconciliation, and holding her family together against all odds. But nothing could have prepared her or fans for this. Just when everyone believed the storm had passed in the Frost household, a new scandal has erupted that's tearing apart everything Rashida fought so hard to protect, in a stunning twist that's left viewers gasping and social media in absolute chaos. Fresh allegations have surfaced about Kirk Frost and his long-forgotten flame, Jasmine Washington. And this time, it's not just whispers. It's video footage, receipts, confessions, truth bombs that no amount of damage control can contain. It all started with a cryptic Instagram story posted late at night by a mutual friend of Jasmine's. Just a shaky video of Kirk entering what looked like Jasmine's building. But it didn't end there. Within 24 hours, Jasmine herself stepped forward, not with denial, but with confirmation. And if that wasn't jaw-dropping enough, she dropped a voice recording, a recording that allegedly catches Kirk saying things no married man should ever say. "I messed up. Again. I still care about you, Jasmine." The internet erupted. Rashida's inner circle was blindsided. Friends close to the couple revealed Rashida had been suspicious for weeks but had no proof. That is, until now. Cameras captured the moment Rashida received the evidence, and let's just say, emotions ran high. Word spread fast. Cast members from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta started choosing sides. Some believe Kirk is being set up. Others say he's been playing Rashida all along. Fans are in disbelief. How could Kirk betray Rashida again after everything she's forgiven him for? And why is Jasmine back in the picture at this exact moment? Was it all a setup? Or has Kirk been living a double life? Right under Rashida's nose. As the drama unfolds in real time, the Frost family's carefully mended image is starting to crack. Betrayal, secrets, a woman scorned, and the terrifying possibility that this could finally be the end for Rashida and Kirk. Buckle up. Because what you're about to witness is nothing short of a reality TV meltdown, and nobody's coming out unscathed. It was supposed to be a quiet Thursday afternoon. Rashida had just wrapped up a photo shoot for her fashion line. Smiling for cameras, greeting fans, and managing business like the boss woman she's always been. There was no warning, no sign that her world was about to flip upside down. She walked into her home, her sanctuary, only to be met with an energy shift. Her phone buzzed nonstop. Messages poured in. "Girl, is it true? Have you seen Jasmine's story? You okay?" At first, Rashida dismissed it as just another internet rumor, another attempt by the public to stir drama from an old wound. But then she opened the video. There it was. Grainy footage but unmistakably Kirk entering Jasmine's apartment complex at nearly midnight. A date stamp, a location tag, and the worst part, that familiar look in his eyes, one that always gave him away when he was hiding something. Rashida sat on the edge of her bed, numb. The air felt heavy. Her mind raced as the walls around her seemed to close in. Could it be true? Again? After all these years of rebuilding, therapy, public humiliation, and recommitment, she had forgiven Kirk for cheating before. She had stood by him even after Jasmine's pregnancy. She had swallowed her pride in front of the world, raising his child as if he were her own. But this, if this was happening again, if Kirk had gone back to Jasmine, it wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation on a global stage. Just then, her phone rang. It was Bambi, her friend and fellow cast member. "Sis, have you talked to Kirk? You need to see this." Jasmine posted more. Rashida's hands shook as she tapped through Jasmine's stories. A still photo. Kirk's truck parked outside. Then an audio recording. Rashida's breath caught in her throat. Kirk's voice. "I messed up. I ain't never stopped thinking about you. I didn't know how to come back." Jasmine's voice followed. .com. Calculated. "So you just sneak around and play house with me behind Rashida's back again? What do you want from me this time, Kirk?" The recording ended abruptly, but the damage was already done. Rashida's heart pounded as she threw her phone across the bed. This wasn't a rumor. It wasn't a doctored video. It was real. Too real. She picked up the phone and called Kirk. No answer. She called again. Voicemail. Again. Straight to voicemail. By the third call, she was in tears. Rage, heartbreak, and disbelief churned in her chest like a storm with no end. Meanwhile, the internet had caught fire. Twitter exploded. Kirk Frost back with Jasmine. Rashida deserves so much better. Not again, Kirk. The memes were brutal. The hashtags unforgiving, hashtag poor Rashida, hashtag Kirk AINT, Shit hashtag Jasmine strikes back. Everyone had an opinion, and no one held back. But while fans debated, Rashida sat alone, devastated, betrayed, and publicly humiliated once again. Across town, cameras followed Kirk as he stepped out of the same apartment complex, face tense, jaw locked, eyes low. When asked by producers if he wanted to talk about what happened, Kirk simply said, "Man, not now. I need to fix this before it explodes." But it was too late. The explosion had already happened. Hours later, Rashida was seen arriving at her mother's house. Tears streamed down her face as she hugged Ms. Charlene, who had always been wary of Kirk's intentions. "Mama, I don't know if I can do this again," Rashida sobbed. Charlene rubbed her back gently but firmly. "I told you, baby. A man who cheats once might cheat twice. But now he got you looking like a fool, again, and I'm not okay with that." Rashida wiped her face, nodding slowly. "This ain't just about me anymore. It's about the kids, the business, our whole life. He's put everything we built at risk." That evening, Rashida met with her closest friends Bambi, Erica Dixon, and Spice to talk things through. The cameras were rolling, but the emotion was raw and real. "Y'all, I'm not okay," Rashida admitted, her voice trembling. "I don't even know what to say to him. I can't eat. I can't sleep. How could he do this again?" Bambi leaned forward, anger flashing in her eyes. "If this was me, girl, he'd be out. Point blank, period," Erica added. "You gave him chance after chance. You raised his child, you put your pride aside for that man. If this is real, if he really went back to Jasmine, that's unforgivable." The tension was thick. Spice tried to lighten the mood, but even she couldn't hide her disappointment. "I just can't believe he'd risk everything for that. After all this time." Rashida shook her head, numb and exhausted, and she knew what she was doing too. Posting that video. That wasn't random. That was strategic. She wanted to hurt me? The women nodded in agreement. The betrayal wasn't just Kirk's, it was Jasmine's too. A betrayal that ran deep and reopened wounds that had never truly healed. Just then, Rashida's phone rang again. This time, it was Kirk. After hesitating, she answered, putting him on speaker. His voice was low and hesitant. "Babe, we need to talk." Silence. Then Rashida replied coldly, "Do we? Or do you need to go explain yourself to Jasmine?" Again, Kirk sighed. "It wasn't like that. It wasn't what it looked like." Bambi rolled her eyes in the background, muttering, "Here we go." Rashida clenched her jaw. "Then what was it?" "Kirk, because you sure sounded emotional. In that recording." Kirk tried to speak, but she cut him off. "I'm done being the one who keeps this family together while you keep tearing it apart." As the call ended, Rashida's resolve hardened. This wasn't going to be swept under the rug. She wasn't going to protect him this time. The world had seen it. She had seen it. And now Kirk would have to face the consequences. But just as she thought she had reached the breaking point, the real twist was still waiting. A phone call. A message. A truth that would leave her even more shattered than before. The next morning brought no peace. Rashida barely slept, and the weight of the scandal pressed on her like 1,000 bricks. As she sat at the kitchen table in her mother's house, still in her robe, sipping cold coffee she hadn't touched, her phone buzzed again. It wasn't more fan messages or shade from blogs. It was something else. A message from an unknown number. No text, just a video. She hesitated. Her heart thudded against her ribs. Against her better judgment, she tapped play. The video opened to a hotel room, dim lighting, cheap decor, time-stamped 2 weeks ago, and there he was. Kirk, sitting on the bed, shirt off, laughing, and next to him, Jasmine, in a towel, smiling, flirting, clearly comfortable. The person filming whispered, "They think they slick." Before the video cut off, Rashida screamed. The sound that left her mouth wasn't just pain, it was years of betrayal erupting all at once. She slammed the phone down, trembling, gasping for air. "Mama," she cried out. Charlene ran into the room and grabbed her daughter, who was crumbling before her eyes. "Baby, what happened?" Rashida could barely get the words out. He's been with her. Not just once. It's been going on. And people knew. They recorded it. Mama. They sent it to me." Charlene, now livid, grabbed the phone and watched the video herself. Her face twisted with rage. "Oh hell no. This man is not just playing games, he's destroying you." Rashida stood up, suddenly, chest heaving. "I'm done hiding. I'm going on live. I'm telling my truth. I've protected him for too long. Before Shirlene could stop her, Rashida went upstairs, fixed her hair, wiped her face, and sat down in front of her phone. With trembling hands, she pressed go live. Within minutes, thousands tuned in. Fans, haters, castmates all waiting to hear her speak. "Hey y'all," Rashida began, her voice steady but strained. "I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm tired. I'm tired of being quiet. I'm tired of protecting people who don't protect me. And I'm especially tired of being lied to by the one person who swore he'd never hurt me again." Her comments section exploded. "We love you, Rashida, not Kirk again. You deserve better." She continued, "I've seen the videos. I've heard the recordings. And I'm here to say this now. Kirk Frost thinks he can disrespect me and our family behind closed doors and pretend everything's fine in public. He's got another thing coming." While Rashida bared her soul online, Kirk was across town in damage control mode. He met up with Scrappy, who looked him dead in the eye and said, "Bro, what is you doing? I mean, really?" Kirk paced back and forth. "It got out of hand. Man, I didn't mean for it to be like this." Scrappy folded his arms. "You didn't mean?" "Kirk, she's live right now, spilling her heart while the whole internet watches. You messed up again, and now she's catching all the heat." Kirk sat down, rubbing his face. I felt like Jasmine and I had unfinished business. We got a kid together. I thought maybe I owed her a real conversation." Scrappy raised an eyebrow. "A real conversation? Shirt off. Hotel room. Nah brew, that ain't no talk. That's disrespect. Plain and simple." Meanwhile, Jasmine was reveling in the spotlight. She posted a selfie with the caption, "Not my fault, he keeps running back." The comments were brutal. Some fans called her out, others praised her for being bold. But Jasmine didn't care. She wanted one thing: to reclaim her place in Kirk's life and, maybe even on the show. And with Kirk now exposed and Rashida spiraling, it seemed she was winning. Later that day, Rashida met up with Yandi and Sierra for emotional support. The restaurant was quiet, but her voice shook with pain. "I feel like a damn fool. I gave him everything. And he threw it away for her again." Yandi reached for her hand. "No, you're not a fool. You're a woman who loved hard. You're a woman who forgave when most would have walked away." Sierra chimed in, "But now it's time to love yourself harder. To put you first." Rashida nodded slowly. "I just don't know what to do. Do I kick him out? Do I end the marriage? We've built an empire together." Yandi's eyes filled with empathy. "You built that empire. With or without him, you'll be fine." Back at home, Kirk finally showed up. Rashida didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just stared at him, cold and tired. "I saw the video," she said flatly. Kirk's face dropped. "It's not what it looks like." Rashida scoffed. "Don't insult me, Kirk. I've heard that line before. It is what it looks like." He moved toward her, hands out. "Please, can we talk?" She backed away. "Talk now you want to talk. You had plenty of time to talk before you walked back into that woman's life." He pleaded. "Rashida, I messed up. I know, but I love you. I don't love her. I never stopped loving you." Her voice cracked. "Then why wasn't I enough?" Silence filled the room. Kirk looked down. No answer. The next few hours were a blur. Rashida left the house again, this time to a hotel. She needed space. She needed air. But just when she thought the worst was over, her assistant called. "Hey, you need to see what Jasmine posted now." Rashida sighed, already exhausted. "What now?" The assistant replied hesitantly. "A sonogram, with a caption that says, round 2. Rashida froze. Her skin went cold. No, 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 no. That can't be real." She pulled up the post. There it was. A grainy ultrasound image. Jasmine tagged Kirk. And the caption, "Guess who's gonna be a big brother?" Her scream could have shattered glass. Everything shattered. The pain. The betrayal. And now a possible pregnancy. Kirk's second child with Jasmine. The room spun. Her knees buckled. This wasn't just betrayal anymore. This was war. And it was far from over. Kirk Frost sat in his car, parked in the driveway of their Atlanta home, hands clenched around the steering wheel. His phone buzzed with missed calls, unread texts, and a tidal wave of angry DMIs. But all he could stare at was Jasmine's latest post, the sonogram, the baby, the tag. His name attached to a digital bombshell that had just detonated his life. Round 2. She'd written like it was a game. But to Kirk, this wasn't just about another mistake. This was the consequence of a web of lies finally collapsing around him. He never thought Jasmine would take it that far. Never expected she'd come for Rashida this publicly. And now, he wasn't even sure if the baby was his. Inside, Rashida was silent. Her face drained of all color. Ms. Shirlene paced the room like a lioness preparing for war. "I'm telling you right now," she snapped, "if this man got that woman pregnant again, I'ma lay hands." Holy or not, Rashida didn't respond. Her eyes stayed glued to the screen, to the sonogram, to the public humiliation that was multiplying by the minute. "I can't breathe," she whispered, finally. "It feels like the world is watching me drown, and I can't scream loud enough to stop it." And outside, Kirk finally opened the car door, walked slowly up the porch, and rang the bell to his house, the house he might no longer be welcome in. Shirlene opened the door and didn't move aside. "I should slap you into next week," she growled. Kirk looked exhausted. "I just need to talk to Rashida," he said quietly. Shirlene stepped aside, but not before jabbing a finger into his chest. "You better pray this ain't your baby, because if it is, boy, you better disappear." He stepped inside. The air was thick. Rashida was seated like a statue, graceful but hardened, emotionally armored like a woman at war. "I just need to know," she said without looking at him. "Is it yours?" Kirk sat down slowly. "I don't know. I swear I don't." Her voice was sharp. "So it could be." Silence. That silence said more than any words ever could. He leaned forward, desperation taking over. "Rashida, I didn't even know she was gonna post that. She's trying to destroy everything. I made a mistake going to see her, but I didn't sleep with her again. I swear on everything, I didn't." Rashida narrowed her eyes. "Then why would she say it's yours?" Kirk shook his head. "Because she's bitter. She sees I'm not leaving you. She wants to trap me again." Rashida barked out a humorless laugh. "You were never trapped, you volunteered." Across town, Jasmine was doing interviews. She knew exactly what she was doing. "Look," she told the interviewer with a smirk, "I'm not trying to be messy, I'm just living my truth. Kirk was in my life again. If I'm pregnant, that's our business." But Rashida knew what she signed up for when she forgave him last time. You don't forgive a cheater and then act shocked when he cheats again. Social media exploded. Some were calling Jasmine brave. Others labeled her manipulative and vindictive. But one thing was certain, everyone was talking about it. Back at the Frost household, things only grew more tense. "We need a DNA test," Rashida said coldly. Kirk nodded. "I'll do whatever it takes to prove it's not mine." But Rashida wasn't just thinking about the test. She was thinking about everything else. The trust broken. The public embarrassment. The whispers from friends and family. The empire they've built now crumbling under the weight of Kirk's choices. "I need time," she said finally. "I need space. Don't come back here until I say so." Kirk's face twisted in pain, but he nodded. "Okay," he whispered. "I'll go." As Kirk left, cameras captured Rashida collapsing into tears the moment the door shut. Her friends arrived minutes later, and what followed was one of the most emotional scenes of her life. "I feel like a damn punchline," she sobbed into Bambi's arms. "Like I'm the joke that never ends. I can't be strong anymore. I don't want to be strong anymore." Sierra sat beside her. "You don't have to be. We're here. Let the whole world watch." But no, you're not alone. Meanwhile, Kirk moved into a hotel downtown, where Scrappy came to check on him. "You messed up bad, bro," Scrappy said. "I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This ain't just drama. This could be the end." Kirk nodded, defeated. "I know, I just didn't think she'd come for me like this. Jasmine, she was just supposed to be a conversation. Closure." Scrappy frowned. "Ain't no such thing as closure with an ex you cheated with. You should have cut that tie a long time ago." Back at the hotel, Rashida sat down with producers for a confessional. "You want to know how I feel?" she asked the camera. "I feel like I was the only one who took this marriage seriously. I was the only one fighting. And while I was out here building our brand, defending him, raising his son, he was out here still lying, still sneaking. And now the whole world gets to see me break. But you know what? Maybe I need to break. Maybe this is the only way I'll rebuild stronger." As the days passed, the DNA test was scheduled, and while everyone waited for the results, Jasmine continued to fuel the fire. Paparazzi caught her outside a studio filming confessionals. "I didn't lie," she told cameras. "I don't need Kirk to raise this baby, I just think people should know the truth. He came back to me. That's the real headline. The Frost family, once seen as the model for forgiveness and growth, now sat on the edge of total collapse. Rashida's sons were confused and upset. Her team was overwhelmed managing the fallout for their brand. And yet, through all of it, Rashida kept moving. One photo shoot, one meeting, one tear at a time. But the final blow had yet to land, because when the test results finally arrived, they carried a truth that no one, not even Jasmine, was prepared for. The envelope sat unopened on the hotel nightstand, as if mocking Kirk with its silent weight. The DNA results had arrived that morning, delivered in person to avoid leaks, but Kirk hadn't found the strength to face the truth yet. He sat at the edge of the bed, staring at the envelope, palms sweaty, leg bouncing. All the chaos, the drama, the shamit, all came down to this. A single piece of paper would decide whether he had detonated his entire life for the second time. With a trembling hand, he picked it up, breathed in, and tore the seal. Paternity exclusion, 99%. He exhaled like someone who had been drowning for days and finally reached the surface. It's not mine, he whispered, stunned. He read it again, then again. It didn't feel like a victory, just a brief pause in a storm of his own making. He knew the truth now, but the damage had already been done. He had broken Rashida again, and no test result could erase that. He called her. Straight to voicemail. He texted. No reply. He tried calling Bambi, then Erica. Nothing. Nobody wanted to help him now. They'd all seen what he did. They saw the tears, the rage, the humiliation Rashida endured at his hands again. Finally, he sent a screenshot of the results directly to Rashida, followed by a single message. I know it doesn't fix anything, but I needed you to see the truth. Meanwhile, Rashida was in the studio, silent as the message popped up on her screen. Her eyes scanned the result. Her shoulders dropped. A sigh escaped her lips, but it wasn't relief. It was exhaustion. Bambi, sitting across from her, asked, gently, is it his? Rashida shook her head. No, he's not the father. Bambi leaned in. So what now? Rashida looked down. Now I figure out who I am without Kirk. But the drama didn't end there. Jasmine, caught red-handed in what now looked like a desperate ploy, fired back on Instagram. I didn't fake a pregnancy. The test is flawed, I'll get another one. Fans weren't buying it. The tide turned fast. Where once she was praised for exposing the truth, now she was being dragged for playing dirty. Girl, you just ruined that woman's life for nothing. One follower wrote. You knew it wasn't his. You just wanted to destroy them. Blog headlines screamed across the internet. Jasmine's baby bombshell backfires. Kirk cleared, but is it too late for Rashida? Public sympathy shifts as Rashida stands tall alone. Interviews poured in. Gossip channels ran 24/7's coverage. And all eyes were on Rashida, who, instead of crumbling, stood back up like a phoenix from ashes. She made her first post since the scandal, a photo of herself in a power suit. Face fierce, captioned, "This storm didn't break me. It taught me how to rebuild." The post racked up 1 million likes in a day. Her fan base rallied behind her, like never before. Women everywhere flooded her DMs with messages of strength, solidarity, and survival. For once, she wasn't being pitied, she was being celebrated. Kirk, watching from the sidelines, realized what he had truly lost. Not just his wife, not just his family, but her respect. And once that's gone, there's no going back. He tried one more time. One last plea. He showed up to the press store, unannounced, flowers in hand, apology rehearsed. Rashida saw him through the glass. Their eyes met. She walked to the door, opened it slowly, and looked him up and down. You don't get to walk in here like this is still your place, she said, voice calm but lethal. I read the results. I know the baby's not yours, but that doesn't change what you did. Kirk opened his mouth, but she held up her hand. Let me finish. She stepped outside, closing the door behind her. You didn't just cheat again. You let the same woman, the same one, come back into our lives like a virus. You didn't protect me. You didn't protect our family. And now you want a hug because the baby isn't yours. Kirk's eyes watered. I made mistakes, Rashida. I panicked. I didn't know how to fix it. She stepped closer. You don't fix betrayal with panic. You fix it with truth, with consistency, with accountability. Things you still don't know how to give. He tried to hand her the flowers. She didn't take them. We need a break. A real one. I'm not saying forever, but I am saying right now. I choose me. She turned to walk back inside. Kirk, stood frozen, holding the flowers like a fool, his legacy crumbling before him. Weeks passed. Rashida focused on her businesses, her children, her healing. She launched a new campaign centered around self-worth, inviting women who had been publicly embarrassed, humiliated, and heartbroken to share their stories. The movement exploded. Talk shows called. Magazine covers followed. She wasn't just a reality star anymore, she was a symbol. And Kirk. He watched from the shadows, still trying to earn his way back in. "I'm proud of her," he admitted during a reunion taping. "Even if I'm not standing next to her anymore, I'll always love her. I just hope. Maybe one day, she'll forgive me." The crowd was silent. Rashida, sitting across from him, stared straight ahead. Then, with the poise of a woman who's been through hell and built her own ladder out, she said, "Maybe, but this time, forgiveness won't come at the cost of my peace." The audience erupted. The cast members stood and clapped. Even the host wiped a tear from her eye. Because this time, it wasn't just a season finale. It was a rebirth. And Rashida was never going back. And just like that, the Frost Empire, as we knew it, has been shaken to its core: scandal, betrayal, public humiliation, and one woman's powerful rise from the ashes. Rashida didn't just survive Kirk's latest deception. She reclaimed her voice, her dignity, her power. While the DNA results cleared Kirk legally, they couldn't cleanse the emotional wreckage he left behind. Jasmine's explosive lies only added fuel to a fire that was already burning uncontrollably. But in the end, the truth did come out, and it exposed everyone for who they really are. Kirk. He's left in limbo, watching the woman he once took for granted blossom without him. Jasmine, disgraced and dismissed, her credibility destroyed by her own thirst for relevance. And Rashida. She's risen higher than ever, turning heartbreak into hustle and pain into purpose. Fans are still reeling. Cast members are still divided. And social media still can't stop talking. But what about you, fam? What do you think? Was Kirk really being honest when he said he didn't cheat this time, or was it all just damage control? Do you believe Jasmine planned this from the jump? Or did she actually think she was pregnant with his baby? And most importantly, should Rashida ever take him back? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Do you stand with Rashida? Do you think Kirk deserves a second or third chance? Or is this the end of the road for good? Don't forget to like this video if you were just as shocked as we were. Subscribe for more wild reality TV breakdowns. And hit that bell icon so you never miss the next scandal that rocks the love and hip-hop universe. Because if there's one thing we've learned, the drama never sleeps. And neither do we.